Hi, I'm Luke. Welcome to the channel, or maybe even welcome back to the channel. I live in the West Midlands in the UK with my partner and our two young children, and we're looking to live a more frugal, simple and minimal life. This is Dave doing his second video.
Oh yeah?
And he's usually behind the camera, but he's making an appearance because we're talking about our 2024 goals. So we've just set our 2025 goals and we'll do a video on that. But we thought before we share that, we'll look back on what our 2024 goals were and how successful we were in doing that. So our previous video looked at setting a budget, and that budget was pivotal to be able to go and achieve those goals. So go and watch that back. Budget underpins everything, and it's that which enables you to realise what your goals can be realistically and keeps you on track and motivated, I think it would be fair to say, in achieving them, or at least making strides towards them. So we had three main goals this year. Let's take you through them. So our first goal in 2024 was probably our biggest financial move since we bought our house, which was to pay off our Help to Buy loan against the house. We took that out in 2017, was it?
2017, yeah.
And essentially, for anybody unfamiliar, the Help to Buy scheme, we won't go into the pros and cons of it today, but essentially, you as the buyer of a new build house in 2017 paid 5% deposit. The government gave you 20%, so essentially you had a 25% budget and you only had a 75% mortgage. The catch is that you didn't just owe that money back to the government, you actually owed 20% of the value of your property back to the government when you repaid it. Spoilers, property prices don't go down, so the government was always going to win. We bought the house for £230,000, meaning that we borrowed £46,000 from the government for our Help to Buy 20%. We got our house valued this year at £340,000, meaning that £68,000 was paid back to the government. The government wins. We'll do a video on pros and cons, I think, of actually Help to Buy and going into depth with it. I think on the face of this, it sounds quite negative, but I think we're probably on the whole quite positive about it.
Yeah, you have to be careful with it. You have to have a plan about when you're going to pay the money back and what you're going to do. I mean, we've lived here now for 8 years, so we've been saving over that time to pay that money back. It's not been easy, but you've got to have a plan to get yourself paid off, or you can be not stuck, but you can find it difficult to move on from your current house if you're ever looking to move.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got caught out by that, so we did the right things over the last few years and it paid off and paid the government off. That was our big move. In truth, we were ready 12 months to go to action that move, but we locked the money away in a savings account, high interest, and the interest on that outstripped the interest that we were paying by having the loan on the house. I think actually it was about a £2,000 difference. So I locked the money away. We carried on paying an interest payment of about 70 quid, I think it was, per month on the house to Help to Buy, and then we cashed in the money back on that high interest savings rate, which outstripped it by about £2,000. In August, action to Help to Buy, and that got paid off. So yeah, a lot of money exited our bank account, but it's for the good, the greater good, the long-term good.
Yeah,
it did not feel good doing it.
But no, it's released us from a hold that we were under with Help to Buy. So it's got its pros, but it's got its negatives.
Yeah, we've done the hard work, and it's no different from paying a huge chunk off your mortgage in a weird way. But yeah, we did it. Very successful. Big tick. Goal achieved. So our second goal was not to take on any more debt, and we achieved that this year, didn't we?
We did.
It was a huge tick. We took on one final piece of debt in 2023, which was your van, wasn't it?
Yeah. We bought a Volkswagen van back in December, which is my daily as well. We needed a car. I've always wanted a van. So we decided we'd take the plunge with it. We can use it for holidays and weekends away and things like that as well. So it does serve a purpose as well.
And we had to finance that with debt. How much was it total?
That was 17,000.
Yeah. So, and it's obviously come down because we're paying that debt off, and the interest rate isn't too bad on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that piece of debt which coincided us with writing a budget, and it was like, ooh, we are actually in quite a big chunk of debt. We're in, I think it was over £50,000 at that point, and you don't realise it when you add your car finance up, now your van finance, your credit cards. You don't realise actually how much debt you're in because it's been so normalised.
We weren't used to it because I've historically always had company cars, so we've never had to finance more than one vehicle. I took a job last year with no company car, so we suddenly had to find another vehicle.
And you don't work close to the house, so
No.
it wasn't a case of let's just buy an old banger for a few grand.
Share,
or share it. No, it was actually got to pump the miles in, and at that point you are talking like 10 grand plus.
Mm-hmm.
You've always wanted a van, and we want to do a lot of UK holidays to long term save money, so we haven't got to do a lot of overseas holidays. So we took the plunge. I think we realised soon after it was like, oh, more debt, and it was at that point we took the promise to add no more to that pile, and we haven't, have we? I think we've learned
Van's worth it though. The van is worth it.
So yeah, there we go, and I don't think we'll ever add more debt on this. We really need to going forward ever again. We've learned
certainly no vehicle finance anyway.
No, not at all. So yeah, huge tick on that goal. And our final goal was quite simple. It was because we had a budget now, we could actually get a grip of our finances and move the numbers in a better direction. We talked about in a previous video, didn't we, that it just seemed that our financial position was just never increasing year on year, even though it should. We have money left over, we earn good wages, we should be building each year, and we just never felt like we were doing that. So we had the budget, we had that baseline, and we started moving the numbers in the right direction. So if I just consult my one of my spreadsheets here and my notebook, we essentially started the year with wanting to get the debt down, savings up, simple as that. So debt started the year at £50,000. I've excluded the Help to Buy on that figure, by the way, so because that was already covered in a separate account. And started the year at £50,000, and we took 10% out of that debt this in 2024, which I think was okay. I probably judge it quite harshly, but at the start of the year we didn't actually have that much money left over each month to be paying extra on debts because we had 2 kids in full-time nursery, and that was costing about £1,700 per month. In September, our eldest went to school and our youngest got some free hours, and that's brought our nursery costs down to about 900, I think it is. So, you know, there is probably £800-900 going extra now. It's from September onwards, which means actually our debt didn't come down nice last year. It kind of flatlined for most of the year, and then we managed to take a big chunk out of it because we had that extra money. We've obviously learned our lessons from not wasting money, because when we had that extra, we didn't go on holiday, we didn't spend it on clothes and treats. We actually went and used it on the right things, I suppose. I think having kids has made us be frugal. You know, we went down to one wage as I had time off work when we first had our children. We've had nursery costs, and then the cost of just clothing and feeding them, and that's made us tighten our belts. We're getting to the point now where some of those costs are now alleviating, such as the nursery fees, but we're not loosening our belts, are we?
No,
we're keeping them tight. Which
we're kind of used to it now, so it makes sense to try and keep that up as much as we can.
Yeah, we were forced almost to be frugal and go on this journey and start looking at a different way to live life, and now we're choosing to do it, and that's quite powerful. So yeah, debt was down 10%, really happy with that. Our savings started at 85,000, but what I'm going to do is just strip straight away 70,000 out of that, which was budgeted to one side for the Help to Buy repayment plus any associated fees. So realistically, our savings, once you strip that out at the start of the year, at 15,000, and we ended up at 22,000. So a £7,000 increase, and again, a bit like what we said about the debt coming down, it wasn't a nice line of the savings going up, it was pretty flat line, and as we got more money, it shot up towards the end of the year because we had that more and more disposable income. We didn't 100% go in on paying debt off or 100% on getting savings up. We seem to have almost taken a 60-40 approach. £7,000 savings up, £5,000 debt down, and what it averages out at is 12,000, £1,000 per month. So each month we are managing to either invest in our future via our savings or pay off some of our previous credit mistakes. So each month on average, if you average that out over the year, we've got £1,000 and we seem to be 60-40 splitting it. And just for transparency in our debts, it is larger vehicles. It's the van we've spoken about. I've got a car which isn't too distant in kind of monetary terms from that. And then we've got several thousand on credit cards. Relatively, everything's on low interest. The credit cards are all on zero, and I've got the money in the bank and we play the game every kind of 18 months of switching those around to keep them on 0%. So I'm not mega fussed about actually paying those off any quicker. But the moments that we couldn't get 0% interest balance on those, I would actually just pay them off because we've got the money in the bank to do it.
A lot of those credit cards, they're legacy anyway. They've been there since forever. We haven't always been fortunate enough to be in this position. When we first started living together, we had nothing. We didn't have any furniture, we had no possessions. There was only, you were at uni.
Yeah.
So there was only my wage coming in, which wasn't much back then. Yeah. So, it's...
Thank God for IKEA finance.
Yeah. Those credit cards, really, most of it has just been legacy for the last 10 years.
And they have been coming down slowly, but not as fast as we'd like. I think it goes back to that point of we're never making the inroads into debt and the inroads into savings and all the things that come with that we should have been. So they're very controllable now, and it's real legacy stuff. Those credit cards never get added to. They just get shifted around. I would say those credit cards haven't been added to for about 3 years. And they just get shifted around. The minimum payment's made every month and will do for the next goodness knows how long, unless I can't get 0% on it, and then they get paid off straight away. So we just choose to do that to not take an immediate financial burden of paying those off. But yeah, so I think overall, given our financial, a year's a long time, and I think you forget where we maybe were at the start of 2024. So I don't know, I think we've been pretty successful managing to eat it 12 grand into savings and debt.
Yeah, it was quite a stressful time, We just took on a new financial burden with the vehicle. I just started a new job as well, so it could have all gone wrong.
I'd only just gone back to work.
You'd only just gone back to work, yeah. So it could have all, if I'd have not made probation or left or got sacked or whatever, and your situation would have changed, it could have been much worse.
Yeah. So I think a big tick.
Yeah.
I'd like to pick up the pace this year. I think we can do that. And yeah, we now know our baseline. We've managed to, by having a budget, cut the fat essentially. We've managed to be able to eat more out of our budget, make that go further. And it's not going further to buy more clothes or more coffees out or more takeaways or more holidays or more rubbish and more consumerism and more plastic. It's not going to any of that. We've cut it and tightened it, and every pound we can goes to either investing in our future via savings or paying off our legacy mistakes. We can't change the past, but what we can do is have real intentionality about paying it off, and therefore set up our future quite nicely.
I wouldn't really call them mistakes. Some were, But you know, stuff that that wrapped up our credit card, we needed.
Mm.
You know, we had to buy certain things. You know, we needed this, we needed that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't class them all as mistakes.
No, I think that's fair. I think sometimes you forget the financial position you've come from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're quite lucky. Not lucky. We've worked hard.
We worked hard. We really didn't have anything.
No, and we're in a good position now where, you know, we still go out and work 80 hours, but we've got a roof over our heads. We live in a nice neighbourhood. The house is warm. We don't want, the fridge is full. We don't want for anything. What we just need to do is cut out the waste. And I think you can probably look back quite harshly and forget that some of those fundamentals we did have to spend on credit at one point.
Mm-hmm.
We've got on that journey, and I think that's probably it. It's a journey, isn't it? It still is. Yeah, I think that's a good point. So yeah, 3 big goals for 2024, which was to pay off our Help to Buy, huge tick. Don't take any more debt, huge tick. And start to move those debt and saving numbers in the correct direction, respectively. Tick. So, 2024, good year?
Yeah.
So, here's to 2025, and we'll be back with another video soon to go through what our 2025 goals are, and it'll be a lot more budgeting, a lot more of the same, but probably starting now to transition into looking a bit more long term. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Thank you for appearing in the video.
Thank you.
And as always, have an awesome day.
Bye everybody.